Hello and welcome to the Commander's Quarters, your Magic the Gathering source that helps you command your budget. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all their support. Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Quarters studio. Welcome to the show. So on a recent episode, I talked about all the exciting sets that are going to be coming out this year. But there's been one set in particular that's been getting a lot of attention lately. Now, to address all the discussions around Strixhaven, Mark Rosewater, head designer at Wizards, put out this tweet. He says, just to address a number of questions I've been getting, Strixhaven is Magic's take on the Magic School genre and not just a reskinning of any one version of it. Hashtag WotC staff. That is a huge relief to myself and to everyone who's been concerned about this potential issue. There was a lot of worry from the Magic community that Strixhaven would just be a clone of a certain famous wizarding school. Now we, the Magic community, have absolutely nothing to worry about since Morrow has let us know that that's not the case. And Morrow has never led the Magic community astray before. I mean, I can't think of one time that... So Strixhaven spoiler season has finally arrived. I have been really excited about this set for months. I think my excitement really started when Mark Rosewater promised that Strixhaven was going to be strictly Magic's take on a Magic School genre, and it's not just going to be a reskinning of a popular version of it. That's the kind of upfront and honest approach that I really appreciate from Wizards employees. And boy did he not lead us astray, because Strixhaven is definitely a unique take, Magic the Gathering's take on this Magic School genre. So without further ado, let's jump into the really unique and fun Day 1 Strixhaven spoilers. So the first card that I want to bring up is apparently the main protagonist of the set with Larry Spotter. Larry's life isn't going so well in the human world, but then he finds out that there's this entire world of magic out there and he's a super famous wizard. He goes on a ton of crazy adventures with his other wizard friends, and he's even got his own pet owl Ludwig. Anyways, Larry Spotter is a 3/3 human wizard with protection from black, and it costs 1 red-white. Larry has at the beginning of each combat choose 2 abilities from among Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, and Lifelink. Creatures you control gain the chosen abilities until end of turn. So Larry is all about togetherness and building your team up. When you go into combat, you know that Larry's going to lead your team and you to victory. And from all of Larry's studies in defense against the dark magics, he's gained protection from certain spells. So on top of being a leader, he's protected from dark magic as well. And that's going to come in handy, because now let's meet the villain of Strixhaven. And that would be Mordevold, Lord of Dark, and man is this guy scary. Mordevold used to be a former student at Strixhaven just like Larry Spotter, but he turned to dark magic in an attempt to take power. So Mordevold is a 3/4 human wizard that costs black, 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 black. As Mordevold enters the battlefield, you put a Morduk's counter on up to 7 permanents you control. If Mordevold would be destroyed, you may instead sacrifice a permanent with a Morduk's counter on it and regenerate Mordevold. And Mordevold also has tap destroy target creature. So Mordevold is incredibly hard to get rid of. Your opponents have to get rid of all 7 Morduxes to actually get rid of Mordevold. And while Mordevold is on the field, he's going to be demolishing your opponent's creatures. Simply just by tapping Mordevold, you can take out any creature on the board. Mordevold truly is the Lord of Dark Magic. But don't you worry, our hero Larry Spotter isn't alone in his fight against Lord Mordevold. So first up, let's talk about the head wizard of the school with Eldest Fumbledore. Fumbledore is an incredibly powerful wizard and a mentor to Larry. It's also revealed though that Mordevold learned from Fumbledore as well. Fumbledore is a respected and incredibly powerful wizard. He's a 2/5 human wizard that costs Wooburg, and he has, when he enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a wizard creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. And by tapping him, you counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. So Fumbledore has some tricks up his sleeve. He can tutor up a powerful, friendly wizard for you. And on top of that, he can counter spells, activated abilities, or triggered abilities left and right. He truly has seen it all, so he knows how to counter anything and everything. And just as Larry's got his pet owl Ludwig to help him out, Dumbledore's got a friend of his own too. Dumbledore's pet Phoenix Hawks is always by his side to cheer him up. And though we haven't seen a spoiler for Hawks just yet, I'm sure we're going to see one in the upcoming days. But now let's move on to one of Larry's best friends, Hermione Manger. Hermione is the brightest student in Larry's class, and she is a master at learning spells. When Larry gets in trouble, Hermione is always there to save the day. Hermione is a 2/4 human wizard that costs 2 white blue. When she enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost 2 or less, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Hermione is an incredibly powerful commander. She can get you a very powerful spell out of your library, and she copies every single instant sorcery that you cast. So with Hermione in play, you can sling spells left and right and really take over the game with your Spell Slinger deck. The amount of value that Hermione brings to you is absolutely absurd. And who could forget Hermione and Larry's other great friend, Don Beasley? If Hermione is reliable in all situations, Don is the exact opposite of that. Don truly is chaos incarnate. Now, Don means well, but when he's around, nothing ever seems to go as planned. Don is a 1/3 human wizard for red. He has whenever you cast a spell from your hand, exile, then exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a card that shares a card type with it. Cast that card without paying its mana cost, then put all cards exiled with Don Beasley on the bottom of your library in a random order. You see, Don's wand is actually broken, so when you cast something, you really don't know what's gonna happen. Everyone needs a wacky comic relief friend though, right? Speaking of wacky though, let's talk about Larry's wacky teacher, Tagrid, Keeper of Beasts. Now, Tagrid might be 50% human and 50% giant, but he's 100% fun. Tagrid likes to keep a lot of interesting and exotic species illegally on the school grounds. So you never know what spectacular creature Tagrid's gonna show you next. Tagrid is a 3/7 human giant that costs 3 green. When Tagrid, Keeper of Beasts, enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, you may search your library for a non-legendary creature card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. When you put a creature card onto the battlefield this way, it fights Tagrid, Keeper of Beasts. You see, Tagrid isn't always the best at handling these exotic creatures, so sometimes a scuffle might ensue. Still, Tagrid of course means well and is a fantastic teacher for Larry and his friends. Speaking of teachers though, let's move on to Dreverus Drape. Now, I'll try not to spoil too much about Dreverus Drape because the backstory on this character is actually one of my favorites. Basically, you think of him one way at first, but at the end you see him in a completely different light. And that's all I'll say about Drape's backstory. Anyways, Drape is a 3/2 human wizard that costs white, blue, black. When Drape enters the battlefield, each opponent reveals their hand. For each opponent, exile a non-land card they revealed this way. You may look at and cast those cards for as long as they remain exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast those spells. Dreverus Drape helps you get into the minds of your opponents and helps steal things from them. You basically take your opponent's memories and you use them against them. Now, one final spoiler that I want to talk about today is Bobby the Home Goblin. Now, Bobby is a personal favorite of mine. I mean, just look at that smile. He will do absolutely everything to protect his friends, especially Larry Spotter. Bobby is a 0/1 goblin that costs 0. By sacrificing Bobby, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Like I said, Bobby will do absolutely anything to protect his friends, even if that means putting himself in harm's way. Now, I hope that you enjoyed these Strixhaven spoilers as much as I did. So in the comments below, let me know which of these cards is your favorite spoiler. And also let me know what other characters from Strixhaven lore that you're excited to see get a card. I really can't wait for the rest of this spoiler season. It's going to be a fantastic one. So I hope that you're just as excited as I am. And as always, thanks again and have a good one.